Here's everything I'm excited about from the most recent state of play. Let's get into it. So first off, we got a trailer for this Shinobi game. I know this is a game that came out years ago, but Sega's had this like super games initiative where they've taken a bunch of old games and they're kind of trying to bring them back. This thing looks sick. I love the art style, very 2D, like cartoonish. The gameplay looks pretty fun. Yeah, man, developers are cooking over there at Sega. I think we got some bangers coming. This one looks pretty awesome. Supposed to be coming out this year, I think, and it looks pretty cool. We got to see another trailer for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Now, this was announced, I think, at the Game Awards, and this looks pretty cool. It looks like you're actually going to be changing levels like mid-race and changing vehicles mid-race, which I don't think we've seen in a while in like a racer. Yeah, it looks pretty awesome, and it looks like there's going to be a closed network test for the game on February 21st, so sign up for that if you are interested, because this looks pretty cool to me. We haven't had like a true Sonic racer in quite some time, so I'm kind of glad we're seeing a bit of a resurgence on this one. Looks pretty cool. Now, a game that we've been waiting for a long time to get information on, Lost Level Aside made an appearance at the State of Play, and we finally got a release date. Now, this game started with a solo developer. Sony was super impressed by this developer, and they offered to help finance the game to kind of help it move along, because this game it's impressive. I gotta give them. It's, you know, sometimes I hear solo developer and I do get a little bit nervous because, you know, that can go both ways. But this looks like it's working out to be pretty well. And the release date for it is actually going to be May 30th, 2025. So that's 3 months down the road, a little bit more than that for us. So definitely get in there and check that out. The trailer looks pretty sick. I'm just loving the vibes in this game altogether. Just a really awesome game. Borderlands 4 made an appearance at the State of Play with a release date of September 23rd, 2025. So at least we know the game's coming out this year. It looks like more Borderlands, but honestly, Borderlands is kind of like my video game junk food. I know I'm going to play this game for probably 20 or 30 hours, maybe even more if there's some cool DLC in it. Yeah, man, I just want to see some new weapons. I want to hear some interesting comedy in the game. I've always been a fan of the art style for the game, so I'm not really one of those naysayers who's getting tired of it personally. So I'm excited to see how this game plays when it comes out later this year. And there's supposed to be a direct specifically focused on this game this spring, so or like a State of Play, actually. I'm sorry, it's going to be focused on this game later this year, and I'm pretty pumped to hear more about it. Supermassive's Directive 8020 got a release date of October 2nd at this most recent State of Play, and I'm pretty excited to check this out. I'm a big fan of Supermassive. I loved Until Dawn. Some of the games after that I haven't really played. I'm looking forward to dipping into The Quarry because I haven't checked that out yet. But this game looks like it's really more my bag. Just that sci-fi fantasy style of gameplay. It just looks really cool, and those guys do such a great job with the gameplay and the animations and the story and the choices. They really do, unlike other developers, it really does feel like they make a bit of a difference. So I'm excited to see what this game is like when it launches later this year. The Midnight Walk also made an appearance at this recent State of Play, and it got a release date of May 8th, 2025. Now, this game looks super cool. It's made by the developers behind Lost and Random, which is like a really interesting, almost claymation style game. This one looks absolutely phenomenal. It's actually supposed to be, I believe, a VR game and a non-VR game, so it's not required to have the headset to play it. It's obviously a little bit more immersive with the VR headset, but I don't have one of those, so I'll probably just get it to play on console. It looks pretty dope, man. I like the gameplay. I love the vibes of it. Yeah, this developer has a really good knack for like making these quirky, kind of creepy, almost Nightmare Before Christmas vibes with their games. It looks really cool. We also got a trailer for Warriors Abyss at this recent State of Play, and this is like a spin-off to the Dynasty Warriors games. It's like a vampire survivors / roguelite spin-off for the series, and it looks pretty badass. You use abilities that like call in different like warriors from the series to like help you during battle, and obviously, as you know, it's a roguelite, so you have those elements in it as well. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's actually out right now, so we don't have to wait to check it out. I've been playing it. I actually do love it, and I'm not really someone who's into these style of games, so I think this is my vampire survivors. So I believe at the Game Awards we had an announcement for a remaster to Onimusha 2, and we got to see that at the State of Play as well, and it looks like we got a release date of May 23rd, 2025. Now, this looks interesting. It doesn't look like they did a whole lot to really enhance the game. I didn't play the other remaster that came out, I think 3 or 4 years ago. But if you're somebody who wants to get into the series, obviously this is a great entry point. We do have the new Onimusha Way of the Sword making its way later this next year. Speaking of Onimusha, we we got another trailer with actual gameplay for Onimusha Way of the Sword, and this game looks incredible. I love the combat. It's got some cool little comedy for it. I know the games kind of all do something a little bit different with each entry, and I kind of like where this one's going, where it's got that dark vibe to it, but it also looks like it's going to try to keep it a little bit light with the humor. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. The combat, of course, looks phenomenal. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait till next year to check it out, but maybe if we're lucky, we'll get a demo at some point. So late last week, there was a bit of a leak for Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater with like the release date, and some companies actually put out a trailer, like the leaked trailer with the release date in it, but PlayStation at their State of Play had the official trailer, and it's going to be coming out August 28th, 2025. I think we all thought this game was coming out last year, but this game clearly didn't, and it's actually pretty late in this year for this game to come out, but I'm still excited to check it out. Didn't play it when it originally came out back in the day. Actually, I think I played Metal Gear Solid 1, but then I never played anything until Metal Gear Solid 5. So I'm excited to go in and check out 3 because I've heard a lot of great things about this, but this trailer does feel like it kind of shows a lot from the game. So hopefully there's still some mystery when it launches. Hellisus made an appearance, and it got a release date for later this year. It's going to be coming out September 4th, 2025. This game looks pretty cool. When I originally saw it, I thought it was pretty much just going to be a Souls-like, but it seems like there's actually some strong story elements in here as well. It kind of looks like Death Stranding / Dark Souls, but the story seems really cool. So I'm definitely excited to check this out when it comes out later this year. I thought it would be taking a lot longer for this game to come out, so I'm happy we got a kind of, early release date. September is not forever down the road. It's definitely not next year, so I'm excited to check it out. We finally got an announcement for the DLC for liesofp, and it's actually coming out this summer. It's called Overture. Shows off a new environment. It's like a winter environment. Shows off some new enemies, some new weapons. It really looks like they kicked up the action in this game. It was a little bit more slow, Souls-like when I originally played it. It seems like they're kicking that pace up a little bit. It's going to feel more like an actual action game. So I'm excited to check it out. I loved that game. Hard as hell, but it was thoroughly enjoyable. An interesting game that made an appearance at this showcase was a game called Dreams of Another. Now this is like a voxel style game, and you actually have to destroy the environment to open up the environment, which I think is an interesting concept. It starts off and you really can't see anything, and then as you're shooting it, you'll find like a door, you'll find a different path, and if that's how the story is told in this, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting concept. We don't have a release date for it, but it is going to be coming out this year, so I'm sure we'll hear something later down the road about it. Looks pretty cool. To my surprise, we had a trailer for Days Gone Remastered at this recent State of Play. Now, I didn't think we were going to see anything from this game, like, pretty much ever again, but as we know, recently, Bend Studios just had their project that they were working on canceled, so I'm sure PlayStation was like, all right, we got to do something. It's going to be coming out April 25th. If you already have the game on PlayStation, you spend the $10, you get the upgrade for it. It comes with some new modes. There's like a new horde mode that's coming to it. I think of all the games that have like zombie hordes in it, this game does it probably the best in my opinion. Just the amount of zombies that are coming at you, the amount of chaos that it comes with. I'm excited to go back in and check this game out again. I finished it, but I mean, any chance to play it again, I'm going to take it. And especially with all the bells and whistles of the PlayStation 5, and if you have a PS5 Pro, I'm sure it's going to be enhanced for that as well. Yeah, looks pretty dope. Love the game. If you haven't played it, I would check it out unless you want to wait for the upgrade. Now, a big announcement at the State of Play was this game called Tides of Annihilation. Now, this game looks phenomenal. We didn't get to see a whole lot of gameplay. There is an extended gameplay trailer out right now. Yeah, man, this game sees you as like this warrior who summons Arthurian knights, and I know I'm butchering that. You can correct me in the comments. I don't care. To use their abilities to kind of fight bad guys and solve puzzles. This game looks crazy. It looks way farther along than I'm sure it is. I mean, the trailer says it's like early development gameplay, but this thing looks phenomenal. It looks like it should be ready to go later this year, but I digress. It's going to be coming out 2026. So, I mean, they had to show something here that was not going to be coming out this year. We can't have everything coming out this year, so it looks pretty dope. Let me know what you guys think about this one, because I want to talk about it. Another game that I'm pretty pumped at the showcase is a game called Mindseye. It's like a thriller action adventure game. It's actually developed by Build a Rocket Boy, and it's being published by IO Interactive in this game called Everywhere. That's like Dreams, but with like Unreal Engine 5. And and it looks pretty dope. I first saw the trailer and I was like, okay, it looks a little bit janky. And then when I discovered that it was kind of in like a game engine, I was like, now the gameplay makes sense. But they're doing a good job with what they have there for tools, and it looks like the game's supposed to be coming out summer 2025. So it looks pretty cool. It looks kind of like a movie style game. I mean, I'm pretty pumped to check it out. The last thing we saw that I was excited about from this recent state of play was this game. It's called Saros. Now this game looks pretty cool. We did not see a lot of gameplay here. It's mostly a cinematic trailer, but it's made by Housemarque, which I know and love. Loved Resogun. I loved Eternal, but I didn't finish it because that game's hard as hell. But this game makes me want to go back and play it before this comes out, just so I can see like the level of growth they have from game to game. It's similar mechanics. It's a roguelike, third-person action roguelike. Looks pretty cool. It's supposed to be coming out in 2026 though, so we gotta wait to see any new gameplay on it. I'm sure we're gonna see something at a later showcase for it, but yeah, man, the game looks pretty cool. I want to check it out. I love everything Housemarque does. So, all right, guys, so that's everything that I'm excited about from this most recent PlayStation State of Play. There were a few other games that came through here, and I just wasn't really feeling them. All in all, not like my favorite state of play, but there were some cool hits here. So let me know what you guys think if you didn't check it out, or if you did, let's talk about it down below. Peace.